Today, I'll tell you how Aquarius is capable of sending all evil back to their enemies. Is this really revenge? And no, Aquarius has its own method. They establish a cool distance, and in this silence, it becomes clear who's really disturbing the peace. And at the end, I'll tell you how to strengthen your radar. Let's start with the fact that Aquarius doesn't take revenge. They establish a cool distance, and in this silence, it becomes clear who's really making the noise. They take a step back, not out of fear, but like a surgeon before a precise incision. They don't argue, don't make excuses, but rather remove the unnecessary, and the truth itself becomes loud. In this cold, only those who come with fire get burned, but they turn their face to the wind and go about their business. Another tool is refusing to play by someone else's rules. They calmly say, "I don't play that way," and do things their own way. No shouting, no excuses. Other people's rules lose their meaning because he doesn't give them power over him. Where they expected a reaction from him, there's emptiness. Where they expected offense, there's silence. Where they expected a deal, there's his no. And the entire other plan falls apart with a crunch because it was built on his agreement. He chooses his own terms and wins freedom itself. Another tool for combating people's negativity is their humor and optimism. He smiles quietly and without malice, and the tension disappears, like air from a punctured balloon. His laughter doesn't offend, it simply shows. There's nothing to be afraid of. When fear disappears, anger has nothing to feed on. It flickers, but fades because it finds no response. He can say one funny, precise phrase, and the situation becomes easier, more transparent. People begin to breathe more freely, and whoever instigated the conflict loses influence. Aquarius is also focused on specific tasks. He doesn't waste his energy on arguments. He invests it in the work and the people around him. He launches a project, helps, teaches, and connects those who can grow together. His time is spent on tasks, not squabbles. And the more the results grow, the quieter the noise from the outside becomes. The enemy has nothing to rely on. No attention, no reaction, nothing to compare with, only his own emptiness. And where there is movement and benefit, emptiness doesn't last long. And he also does good demonstratively and calmly, so that evil has no role in the play. He does good calmly and in plain sight, without heroic poses. He simply arrives, resolves the issue, helps the person, and moves on. When everything is working and everyone is at ease, the villain has nothing to play. The stage is occupied by normality. There is no scandal, no intrigue, only order and facts. The public quickly understands who is really at work, and evil, not receiving attention, retreats behind the scenes on its own. And he also doesn't give the usual answer. Yesterday he was silent, today he's joking, tomorrow he's changing the subject and getting back to work. Anger waits for a flare-up, but instead there's emptiness, like a switched-off screen. It has nothing to cling to. It fades away. He chooses the moment and format of his reaction, or doesn't choose it at all. In this way, he controls the rhythm, and other people's aggression dissipates in a vacuum. Furthermore, Aquarius teaches with his calm. Around him, it becomes embarrassing to behave pettily. He speaks in an even voice, pauses, doesn't rush to justify himself, and doesn't raise his voice. Around such a person, you suddenly notice your own unnecessary noise and petty jabs, and it becomes awkward. His calm is like a mirror. It shows who is behaving like an adult and who is playing at being offended. He doesn't press. He simply maintains boundaries confidently and quietly, and conflict deflates on its own. Because with respect, you want to pull yourself together, not cause a scene. Another tool is the ability to gather like-minded people around you. Aquarius gathers people and ideas around themselves, where everyone has a place. They listen, connect, and help reach agreement, and the team begins to work as a unit. When they are together, others' anger doesn't penetrate them. It is met with calm, support, and clear rules. In this shared circle, evil loses its power and simply flies back to the one who unleashed it. The team is their silent shield, and unity is the best response to any attack. Aquarius also has an angry side that can surprise. They usually keep their temper for a long time, but if they are pushed to the limit, it's best to step away. They tend to build up feelings to the limit, then release them in a sharp outburst due to pent-up disappointment. Aquarius's strongest response is a new height, where others' anger simply cannot reach. They rise to new heights. In knowledge, in work, in the circle of people where they find themselves, there is no room for trivialities and scandals. It's simply a different level. Those who tried to hurt him remain below with their games. Their words don't reach them. He doesn't waste energy on battles. He builds the next level. And at this height, the most important thing is visible. Someone else's evil is small, but his movement is great. Besides, he simply tries to avoid toxic people. Aquarius can't stand inflated egos and commanding manners. If you're always talking about me and don't listen to him, you won't impress him. If you don't respect boundaries and try to control everything, he'll turn around, say no, and go his own way. Besides, he records everything: letters, dates, screenshots, conversation summaries. When the facts are on the table, evil there's no room for expression. It becomes empty noise. Recordings show who said and did what, and there's nothing left to argue about. Attempts to pressure or manipulate quickly crumble against the evidence and return to the sender. Transparency is their defense. Order is their language. And finally, about how Aquarians can strengthen their radar. Nevertheless, it's important not to enter someone else's game. Pause. Take a step back, check the facts, and calmly set boundaries. This won't happen. Let's get to the point. If necessary, ask one precise question that defuses emotions. What exactly is the problem? And what are you proposing? Second, turn on the light of ideas and order. Record letters, dates, agreements. Respond not with an attack, but with a solution, short and to the point. Redirect your energy to the project, to the people around you, to the result. Let the numbers and completed tasks speak. Envy will return to the sender. Third, gather a support network. Aquarians have many friends, so why not gather their opinions and come to a conclusion? Aquarians are masters at this. Keep those who share your rules close by. Humor without malice, a calm voice, an unpredictable reaction, and anger will die down in a vacuum. And then, growth. New heights are always the best ending. Where you reach, the evil of others simply cannot reach. If this was helpful, subscribe, like, and ring the bell. In the comments, let me know which trait resonated most with you.